I don't even know where to start. If you are watching this video, chances are you are thinking, planning, or just about to go on your first trip to Japan. And most likely, like I was a few months ago, you're being bombarded on your social feeds with the videos like 40 days itinerary for Japan or weekends in Tokyo, what to do. My name is Bart, and Japan has been on both mine and my partner Anne-Marie's bucket list for a very long time. In my younger days, I used to train Aikido, a martial art that originated in the early 20th century from Tokyo. Naturally, that led me to develop an interest in the history of the empire, the samurai, and the Japanese culture as a whole. On the other hand, Anne-Marie has always wanted to go to Japan because of her parents used to work there, and her childhood was filled with the stories of incredible cities, technology, and most importantly, Hello Kitty treats. I work as a project manager in the entertainment industry, so when Anne-Marie and I decided to go to Japan, my logistic and research skills immediately kicked into action. I must admit, when it comes to Japan, social medias are full of inspiration, but there is a very little practical advice on how to actually get there and navigate the planning process. And believe me, some things can really catch you off guard. After deciding which cities we wanted to visit and purchasing our flights, I spent 5 months researching, planning, and pre-booking hotels, transport, and almost all of the attractions. The result was an intense 8 days, packed to the brim with activities and a very tight schedule. You might ask, why only 8 days? After all that effort and such a long journey from Europe, well, Japan was one of the 2 destinations of this trip. The second was visiting Anne-Marie's family in the Philippines, which is just a short 5 hours flight from Tokyo. As soon as we came back from our trip, few friends started asking me questions. How did it go? I want to go. Where should I start planning? And finally, one day I have heard, you should make a video about this. It would be a shame to waste all that knowledge. So here we are. When planning this travel series, I decided to split it into several parts. The first is this introduction and 14 of the most important things that you need to consider when planning a visit to Japan. Future episodes will cover Tokyo, Mount Fuji, bullet train travel, Osaka, the World Expo, Kyoto, Hiroshima, and the island of Miyajima. So without further ado, welcome to BQ channel and our short series, Anne and Bart's Japan Speed Run. Now that we get the introduction out of the way, let's start with probably the most important question. Number 1. Choose which cities you want to visit and what to see. You've probably seen videos of people crossing Shibuya, eating ramen at the Omode Yokocho, visiting Sensoji Temple, climbing Thousand Torii Gates at Fushimi Inari Shrine, or playing with monkeys at Yatawama Park. Those are all great destinations, but you need to think strategically about where you will stay so you can keep travel times manageable. Before our trip, I made a comprehensive list of attractions that Anne-Marie and I wanted to visit, then grouped them by region, city, and finally by location within each city. When doing that, Google Maps Points of Interest feature became my best friend, and you will be using it a lot traveling across Japan. Doing this lets you quickly check the best transport links between locations, and within few days you should have a clear idea of where you want to start your journey and where you want to exit the country. That brings me to our next point. Flights. Choosing the right airport. Japan has 3 major international airports: Tokyo Haneda, close to the city center, Tokyo Narita, much further out, and Osaka Kansai International, famous for the slowly sinking into the sea. Narita and Kansai offer many international routes and often cheaper flights, while Haneda is more focused on domestic travel, but still has plenty of global connection. We flew from Manchester to Dubai with Emirates on the superb Airbus A380, then continued to Haneda on a newly refurbished Boeing 777. Had we chosen Kansai or Narita, we would have flown the second leg on another A380, which, if you've been on one, you know it's an unbeatable experience. All three airports have excellent transport links to their respective city centers. However, if you arrive late at night, your only option might be Uber or Go Taxi. We landed in Haneda at 10:30 p.m. after nearly 24 hours of travel, handling luggage, and it being our first time in Japan, we opted for an Uber. The £47 ride in a Tesla Model X driven by a white-gloved chauffeur-level driver was the smooth, surreal welcome we needed after a day and a half in transit. When planning your entry and exit, consider booking in multi-city mode. Arriving at Tokyo Haneda doesn't mean you must depart from the same airport. We exited via Narita because it was the only Japanese airport offering a direct flight to Clark Airport in the Philippines, just a short trip from the Anne-Marie's hometown. Point 3. Hotels. Where to stay. Choosing accommodation in Japan is a balance between convenience, comfort, and experience. Proximity to a major station like Tokyo Station or Shinjuku can make life easier, but in big cities like Tokyo or Osaka, public transport is so efficient that you can choose to stay near the attraction you want to visit most. On our first stay in Tokyo, we chose the Hotel Monterey in Akasaka. It was within walking distance of everything that we wanted to visit and had a nearby metro station with a direct link to Shibuya. Hotel rooms in Japan tend to be smaller than in the West. Always check the square meter size before booking, especially for your last stay before flying home when your luggage will be at its heaviest. Trust me on this, we did struggle a lot on our last night, but more on that in the second Tokyo episode of the series. In general, Booking.com and Agoda offer best hotels deals in Japan. We also had a great stay with Airbnb in Hiroshima. More on that in the following episode that will show you this historic town and the beauty of Miyajima Island. Japanese hotels have strict check-in times, but most we stayed in contacted us beforehand to confirm our arrival time. They were also very responsive to our questions about amenities, breakfast times, and baggage forwarding. Well, about that. If you want to forward luggage between hotels, it's cheap and reliable, but make sure your hotel has a 24 hours reception so you can conveniently hand over the luggage. Please allow 24 hours for transfer between major cities like Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto, or the major airports. For small destinations, plan about 24 hours, 48 hours. This makes it easy to send your large bags ahead while you travel light with just 1 or 2 days necessities. The budget companies will allow you to storage it for a few days if you need to arrive at the destination hotel at a specific day. All the stock over baggages naturally brings us to the next point. Number 4. Packing and what to bring. You probably have seen this a lot on our social medias, but this is always be the number 1 point. Shoes. Japan is a country where you will walk more than you think, not just in the tourist spots, but in a train station, shopping streets, and even moving between attractions. A comfortable pair of walking shoes is non-negotiable. Make sure that you wear them in for a few weeks before your trip. You will thank me later, once you start averaging 25,000 steps a day. The weather in Japan can shift quickly, especially in spring and autumn. Pack lightweight layers so you can mix and match. Think of a windbreaker, light sweater, and maybe something weatherproof for a rainy day. A reusable water bottle is a good idea. Japan has plenty of refill stations and convenience stores sell chilled tea and water everywhere. All of those things would be hard to carry around with our daily backpack. Bring one inside your main baggage. Easy to carry around on a long walk, accepted in most attractions and easily fit inside the storage locker if needed. If you take medication, check Japan's strict import rules. Some everyday meds in the West, like codeine, certain ADHD prescriptions, are completely banned. Bring printed doctor's notes and check official government guidelines before packing anything. For type 1 diabetes, you can carry 1 month of supplies without any restrictions. If you plan to stay for longer, you need an import certificate from the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare. Japan uses type A and B plugs at 100 volts. Most UK, EU and US chargers are fine, but double check your device. I know for the fact that all of our devices work just fine, although a travel adapter and a small extension leads with the multiple sockets will help you charge all your mobile devices, watches, laptops and camera equipment. If you're staying at a ryokan or visiting friends, consider a small gift. It's like a cultural courtesy. And finally, leave space in your baggage for souvenirs, or be ready to ship a box home via courier. From our perspective, Anne-Marie alone had to purchase extra 12 kilograms into her baggage allowance. Number 5. Immigration. Visit Japan web and QR codes. Immigration in Japan is efficient, but if you arrive unprepared, the queues can feel endless, especially after a long-haul flight. The trick to a smooth arrival is the Visit Japan web system. Before you even leave home, register on the platform and create profiles for all the travelers in your group. It's not difficult, but you will need to upload your passport details, visa details if you need one, fill out the health questionnaire and enter your custom declaration information. Once that's done, the system generates fast-track QR codes, one for immigration and another one for customs. For us, having this ready shaved at least 30-40 minutes of the process at the Haneda. Instead of stopping to fill out paper forms or fumble with pens after several hours flight, we just simply walk up to the counter and had our QR codes scanned. And then we moved right through. Make sure your phone screen is bright enough for the scanners, or even better, take a screenshot of each QR code so you don't stuck hunting for a mobile signal in the arrival hall. This preparation pays off even more if you arrive during peak hours. While others are still queuing, you could be already collecting your luggage, calling an Uber, or like us, try not to get lost finding your hotel in a brand new city. Okay. But how do you book an Uber when you are in the airport immigration zone and there is no shop around, and your roaming will cost like a gazillions of yens once you turn it on? Number 6. SIM cards and connectivity. Let's face it, from navigating train station the size of a small city to translating a restaurant menu that has 0 pictures, having data on your phone from the moment you land is a game changer. You have 3 main options: an eSIM, a physical SIM card, or a pocket Wi-Fi. If your phone supports eSIM, that's the easiest and cleanest route. No fiddling with SIM trays in the corner of the airport while you are jet-lagged. Before our trip, I bought an online eSIM from the company called Mobile. I've received a QR code and had it activated before we even left the UK. The moment the plane touched down at Haneda, I was online. I did a fair amount of the research, and in the end, I've opted for 16 days, 50 GB eSIM for 3,900 yens, which translate approximately to £20. From all the providers, this one presented the best value, but a small trade-off is that they will not inform you how much data you got left to use. That doesn't mean that the mobile would disconnect you as soon as you run out of the data. You would simply just get much slower connection. Please be aware that some companies offering unlimited internet have a very strict fair usage policy, which drop your speed right down, sometimes already after 2 GB of data. Always read small print and research company name on Google and social medias. If your phone doesn't do eSIM, which I cannot even imagine what phone that would be, you can pre-order a physical SIM and collect it at the airport. They are often cheaper if you book ahead, and you can pick them up at the vending machines or counters before leaving arrivals. At the end, there is a pocket Wi-Fi that can connect multiple devices at once. Great if you're traveling in a group. We consider it, but decided against adding another gadget to charge every night and eventually going through the hassle of returning it after we finish with it. Whichever you choose, don't leave the airport without sorting it out. Reliable internet means that you can find your hotel, use Google Translate when ordering your first meal, checking the next train departure, or if you're like Anne-Marie, contacting our loved ones that we made it to the other side of the planet. Point 7. Navigating Japan. Have you ever felt proud for navigating the London or New York underground without getting lost? Japan's train system is going to make you feel like a complete amateur. In the best way possible. It's unbelievably efficient, clean, and on time. But it can also be overwhelming if you're not prepared. I consider myself as an efficient navigator. But from the personal experience, Shinjuku Station, with its multiple levels and 3.7 million passengers a day, is not something you want to tackle while being completely jet-lagged. First rule: Google Maps is your best friend. Do you remember the point of interest that I talked about earlier? Now, this is the game. Switch it on to the train transit tab, and it will tell you exactly which platform to go to, which carriage is the best for transfers, and even how much your ticket will cost. The only catch? In the busy cities like Osaka or Tokyo, routes can change quickly depending on delays or platform adjustments, so always save your planned route and check it again just before you set off. You can very easily go from 34 minutes travel on 2 trains to 32 minutes travel on 3 trains and 2 buses in a matter of just clicking one refresh button. And here's a little tip: if you're ever unsure where to go, just stop, look for the signs. Most of them are written in English, and all of the electronic boards will eventually switch to the English as they cycle through languages. I get it, it's a hyper-paced environment of the Japanese station. It's easy to keep your head down and focus on your phone, but sometimes the best thing you can do is just to pause, look up, and let the station guide you. The famous JR Pass, once a must-have for a tourist, isn't automatically worth it anymore. Price increases meant that for many first-time itineraries, buying individual Shinkansen tickets worked out cheaper. In our case, it was better value to just book reserved seats as we went. That said, if you plan to use the pass or book individual long-distance tickets, secure your reservation up to 30 days before your trip, especially during busy periods like Sakura season, Golden Week, or the Obon in the late August. We decided to travel to Japan between Sakura and the Golden Week. We found it the hard way when booking our Hiroshima to Tokyo train that the usually early booking discounts weren't available during these peak times. And to make all of this train travel simpler, you should get number 8, Suica card, or a Pasmo if you prefer. If you are staying in Japan even one day, get yourself an IC card. These are reloadable travel cards you can use not just for trains and buses, but also for vending machines, convenience stores, lockers, and even some restaurants. There are a few different types: Suica, Pasmo, and ICOCA, and they work pretty much the same way. So what's the problem? For some reason, to top up them up, you need to go to the top-up machine and insert cash in the 21st century. On top of that, from our experience, the official Japanese Suica app isn't exactly tourist-friendly. It's only in Japanese, and if you can't read kanji, setting it up will feel like trying to buy a train ticket blindfolded. There's also the new Welcome Suica travel card aimed at the visitors, but the reviews are mixed. For us, the easiest method, especially if you're an Apple user, is to skip the physical card entirely. At any time, long before you travel, just open your Apple Wallet, tap the plus button, Select travel cards, search for Suica, and within a minute you will have a quick tap card on your phone. You can top it up instantly from your preferred payment method. No hunting for ticket machines or fumbling with cash. None of this nonsense. We use our digital Suica card for entire trip and never failed us. From Tokyo Park Yamamoto line to tiny vending machine in the countryside. One tap, you're through the gate. Honestly, it's one of the simplest travel upgrades you can give yourself in Japan. Number 9. Cash versus card. Japan is becoming more card-friendly every year, but cash is still king in plenty of places, especially smaller restaurants, rural shops and temples. We used our cards most of the time, but there were definitely moments when having yen in the wallet saved the day. For cards, I highly recommended Wise or Revolut. Both give you excellent exchange rates and no nasty foreign transaction fees. I've been using Revolut linked to Apple Pay for a long time before the trip, and could tap and go almost anywhere that accepted cards. On top of that, I had physical card, which helps when handling the payments in a fancy restaurant. When you need cash, 7-Eleven ATMs are the safest bet for foreign cards. They are everywhere, in convenience stores, train stations and even some tourist attractions. And they will let you withdraw in English with no confusing prompts. Also make sure that you have a reliable physical card like Revolut Metal, which allows you to withdraw a sustainable amount of cash monthly without extra fees. Perfect for quick groceries, transport and those cash-only hidden gems. Speaking of coins, you will end up with a lot of them. Japan still uses 1, 5 and 10 yen coins in the daily transactions, and temple donation boxes, vending machines and lockers often require exact change. We kept a small coin pouch in our day bag, which made paying in cash much quicker and stopped us from holding up queues. Naturally, before leaving Japan, try to use up as many coins as possible at convenience store or for snacks, so you are not bringing a pocket full of yens back home. For example, we arrived at our exit airport much earlier than our flight and spent the rest of our coins and banknotes on the brunch and coffee. Point 10. Book early. Naturally, flights and hotels are the first thing you want to secure. The earlier you book, the better the deal and availability. But in Japan, it's not just transport and accommodation that benefit from forward planning. Some experiences will be gone before you pack your suitcases if you leave it too late. For Shinkansen tickets, you can book up to 1 month in advance. Outside the peak travel periods, this is usually enough. But during celebration like Sakura season, Golden Week or Obon in August, seats disappear fast. If your budget allows, I highly recommend splurging for the green card. It's like the Japanese first class. For the extra space, quieter carriages and a generally more relaxed ride. Always book directly through the official Shinkansen website than rather the third-party sites like Klook. You will have a better control over your seat selection. That's one of the benefits. And here's a little insider trick. If you are traveling west towards Osaka, book a seat in the right-hand side. Traveling east towards Tokyo, sit on the left-hand side. That way, on a clear day, you might get a chance to see a stunning views of the Mount Fuji from your seat. Later in the series, I will as well show you how to book and approach the Hello Kitty Shinkansen, the ultimate experience that made Anne-Marie feel like a teenager again. As for attractions like Team Lab, Osaka Experiences or Kyoto Tea Ceremony are all things that you want to lock in months in advance. This can sell out weeks ahead, especially during tourist high season. And lastly, there is Shibuya Sky. Currently the single most frustrating tourist attractions to book in Japan. You will need to try exactly 2 weeks before your planned visit. Be ready, the moment tickets go live, and even then you might find your preferred slot gone in seconds. I will share full story and my booking battle scars in the next episode of the series. Point 11. Transport etiquette and Shinkansen experience. Japan trains are not just transport, they are a cultural experience in themselves. The first thing that hit me, it was the sheer discipline. People queue neatly on marked lines at the platforms, no pushing, no cutting in. And when the train crew or cleaners enters the carriage, they stop, bow, and only then begin their work, something I've never seen anywhere else in the world. If you're traveling in a green car, you will get a little extra comfort, wider seat, more legroom, quieter surroundings, and even a simple food and drink service. Pair that with a freshly bought ikiben, which is that little crazy clever bento box, and you got yourself one of the most civilized ways to travel anywhere. There are a few key etiquette rules. No mobile phones conversation in the sitting area. You need to talk, step into the entrance corridor between the carriages. Keep your voice low when chatting. If you use the extended footrest, take off your shoes. It's a courtesy and also just feel better after a day of walking. Baggage rules are strict. Small suitcases or backpacks can go in the overhead racks. Large suitcases require pre-booked oversized baggage seats. If your luggage is too big and you haven't booked, the gates might simply not let you through. While you can manage luggage on the trains, here's the truth. If you're traveling with the big suitcases through busy Japan station, shipping your luggage via services like Yamato is almost always a better option. For a small fee, they will deliver your bags from the airport to your hotel or to your next destination. It means you can navigate crowded platforms and stairs with just a small backpack or overnight bag, and trust me, it makes a huge difference to your comfort. For tickets, I recommend screenshotting or adding your QR codes to Apple Wallet for any Shinkansen or long-distance train. It's quicker and avoid hunting for emails while you're standing at the gate. I've tried linking my digital Suica for my Shinkansen bookings, but it didn't work for me. I stuck with the QR codes instead. If you found a reliable way to make that work, drop your workaround in the comments so other travelers can benefit. Lastly, there is this Japanese phenomenon of ganjin. Ganjin means foreigner, and while it's not meant to be offensive, you'll quickly notice that you stand out in Japan. In my case, being quite tall, with a shaved head, sunglasses, I probably look more like an action movie henchman than a tourist. Thankfully, no tattoos to make it even worse. On trains, especially outside Tokyo or Osaka, you might catch people giving you a quick glance or even subtly avoiding sitting next to you. It's not rudeness, it's more like polite uncertainty about how to interact. Sometimes you will get more personal space than you expect, which honestly, it could be a perk during the rush hours. My advice, just try to blend in, follow every bit of a transport etiquette, queue properly, speak quietly, and keep your phone calls in a train to minimum. The more you adapt into the flow around you, the faster you will go from obvious tourist to a mysterious foreigner who clearly knows what they are doing. Point 12. Street etiquette. One of the first things you will notice in Japan is that local dress with a quiet, understated neatness. In fact, you will rarely see Japanese men wearing shorts, even in scorching summer heat. It's not frowned upon for the tourists, but if you want to blend it a little bit more, jeans and long trousers will do the trick. Sunglasses are another one. You will spot far fewer people wearing them than it is in the West. And if you're like me, tall, shaved head, and wearing shorts and shades, you might stand out more than you realize. It's not a problem, but it can feel a little intimidating in the more traditional areas if you're already attracting curious glances. I avoided to wear sunglasses in the public spaces as much as I could and remove my baseball cap when entering shrines or temples. On the streets and in station, personal space and order are the unspoken rules. When it comes to escalators, Tokyo and most of the Japan stands on the left and walks on the right, while Osaka flips it the other way around, stands on the right and walk on the left, just like in London. Tattoos becoming more and more accepted, but still some traditional spots, especially onsen, have some strict rules about covering them. Finally, eating while walking is generally a no-go. If you grab a street food, step aside, finish it, and then move on. Now, public bins are rare. So rare that we actually took photo every time we saw one.
Trying to finish it because there's some beans.
My personal tip? Grab yourself a small pack of Pringles from 7-Eleven. Once you finish it, it makes the perfect little portable bin for your rubbish until you find somewhere to throw it away. Food etiquette. Eating in Japan isn't just about filling your stomach. It's a cultural ritual, and there are a few simple rules that will help you avoid awkward moments. First, the chopstick basics. Never stick them upright in a bowl of rice. It's something done only at the funerals. Do not pass food from chopstick to chopsticks. That too is linked to the funeral traditions. And when you're not using them, rest them on the provided holder or the edge of the plate, not jammed into your food. Tipping is another big difference. In Japan, good service is part of the job, and leaving extra money can feel uncomfortable for the staff. Some places might outright refuse it, so just pay the bill as it is and give them warm "arigato gozaimasu" instead. Shoes are another thing to watch for. Some restaurants, and almost all the traditional ones, will have genkan, a little step-out area, where you can expect to remove them. This is not optional. Keep your socks clean and presentable because you will be showing them more than you think. You will often be given a wet towel, oshimbori, before the meal. It's for cleaning your hands, not your face, even though it's tempting after a long day. If you're unsure what to order, don't panic. Many places in big cities have plastic food displays in the windows and illustrated menus. On our first night in Tokyo, we ended up in a small restaurant in Akasaka, where the menus were presented to us on a tablet, complete with the photos and English as a language option. This is very common and makes ordering much less stressful. Don't be surprised though if the food will be brought to you by a humanoid-like robot. Point 14. Language. When approached, some people in Japan will speak English, especially in major cities, but many will not, and they might refuse to get involved, but not that they don't want to help, quite the opposite. Some might politely avoiding assisting you because they worry that their limited English might confuse you even more. Unless you have real reasons such as work, study, or a deep personal interest, learning Japanese fluently before your trip is a huge task. Japan has 3 different writing systems: Hiragana, Katakana, and Kanji. Kanji alone has over 2,000 commonly used characters, so mastering it is a long-term commitment, not pre-holiday project. Instead, focus on learning a few polite and practical phrases. This few will get you far. Hello. Konnichiwa. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Sumimasen. Thank you. Arigato. Or you can say domo arigato. Or even if you want to be more polite, you say arigato gozaimasu. No, thank you. Daijoubu desu. Can I have the bill? Okay, onegaizaimasu. Can I pay with card? Card o kudasai. Where is the toilet? Toire wa doko desu ka? Where is the train? Eiki wa doko desu ka? You probably start seeing pattern here. For everything else, let technology do the heavy lifting. Google Translate and Apple Translate work very well, especially with the camera feature for menus and signs. Most locals are happy to try to understand you. And in the bigger cities, you will often find people who can speak at least some English, and many of them will approach you on their own when they're gonna see you that you're standing confused. One small tip at the end. If a pub or a restaurant doesn't display any English words outside, on the menu, signage or boards, it's best not to go inside. They might politely refuse to serve you simply just because they are not set up to cater for the non-Japanese speakers. We made this mistake once, and you could put a stopwatch for how many seconds we have sat down on a bar stools. Now, I know I said this was going to be 14 points to consider before traveling to Japan. But there's one more I have to talk about. Toilets. Yes, toilets. Point 15. Toilets. If you've never been to Japan, you are not ready for the sheer luxury and engineering that goes into something as simple as a trip to the loo. First, the seat. The seat is warm, and it's not barely noticeable warm. I'm talking about a cozy, heated hook for your backside. Then the moment you sit down, a ventilation system kicks in to quietly whisk away any unpleasant odor before it even have a chance to exist. Some even play gentle music over nature sounds if you like to. Maybe to set the mood or to help you with the anxiety of making number two in a public space. And then there is the cleaning system, a full comprehensive chassis wash with adjustable water pressure, temperature and the nozzle position. Honestly, it feels like a Formula 1 pit crew of a personal hygiene. Finally, when you're done, the automatic flush activates with the kind of confidence that could handle the entire day of sensoji food binging without breaking a sweat. Public toilets? Forget everything you know from back home. In Tokyo, we found a toilet in a public park that was so spotless, you could have it inside a lobby of a 5-star Western hotel and no one would have questioned it. We were so impressed that photos of the Japanese toilets now proudly take place on our trip gallery, right alongside Mount Fuji and the Kyoto temples. I hope you enjoyed this rather long first-time travel to Japan guide. And it would make me very happy if even one piece of the information I've shared helped you in your own preparation. Keep an eye out for the next episode in this series where Anne-Marie and I attempt to take a 30,000 step day while battling a full force of a massive jet lag. Sayonara.